हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा राम हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम
हरे
हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री साधु गौर भक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण
कृष्णा हरे
हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम
हरे राम
राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीधर गौरवोत्तम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
हरे कृष्ण हरे
Hare Ram,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Ram,
हरे, हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Krishna Krishna,
हरे राम हरे हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
हरे राम हरे हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare. Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram.
Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram
Ram Ram Ram
Ram
Hare Hare. Hare
Ram.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare Hare. Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare. Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare. Hare
Ram.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram
Hare Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram.
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare.
Ram Hare
Jai
Ram
Shri Krishna
Ram
Chaitanya
Ram.
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Sadi Gaur
Hare
Bhakta.
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare. Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama
Ram.
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Rama
Ram.
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare Rama
Hare
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Rama
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Ram Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji and our pranams. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining today. Just a second, let me share this one. Yeah, anybody read quickly this one, please? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Go ahead. Yeah.
While decorating the body with tilaka, we give protection to the body by chanting 12 names of Vishnu. Although Govinda or Lord Vishnu is one, he has different names and forms with which to act differently. But if one cannot remember all the names at one time, one may simply chant Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and always think of Lord Vishnu. Vishnur Aradhanam Param. This is the highest form of worship. If one remembers Vishnu always, even though one is disturbed by many bad elements, one can be protected without a doubt. The Ayurveda Shastra recommends Aushadhim Chintayet Vishnu. Even while taking medicine, one should remember Vishnu because the medicine is not all, and Lord Vishnu is the real protector. The material world is full of danger. Padam Padam Yad Vipadam. Therefore, one must become a Vaishnava and think of Vishnu constantly. This made easier by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Paramam Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam and Kirtanat Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.6.27 to 29. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you for reading. So always remember Krishna. That's never forgets. Constantly. So we all know, right? This one, 12 places of we put tilak in our body. You all know the names. Every day, while decorating the body with tilaka, we give protection to the body by chanting 12 names of Vishnu. Anybody add those 12 names? Remember those 12 names? Every day we put tilak, right? There are names. Yeah, Loish Prabhu, right now, Prabhu. మీరు చెప్పిన తర్వాత just
very low, Prabhuji. I can't hear.
Hare Krishna. Is it okay? No?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
It's okay, no?
Better than before.
Okay. నేను కొంచెం దూరం పెట్టుకొని మాట్లాడినా. Sorry, Mataji. So 12 names of Vishnu while decorating the body every day. That way to start, After taking bath, we put tilak, right? There are 12 names we chant along with tilak. Actually, 12 places we put tilak in our body. If Mata is also, yes, there is no only, only Prabhuji is no, everybody. This body is Krishna. Women's body or Prabhuji's body or Mata's body. Body is given by Krishna. So all the 12 places we decorate. So anybody quickly? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu. You want to try to become okay. I'll help you. Om Keshava Namaha. Then what next?
I have the book, Prabhuji, and that it is there. So it will be cheating if I read out from there.
It's okay. Read it from the book, no problem. Read it.
Om Keshvaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Vishnave Namaha, Om Madhusudanaya Namaha, Om Trivikramaya Namaha, Om Vamanaya Namaha, Om Sridharaya Namaha, Om Rishikeshaya Namaha, Om Padmanabhaya Namaha, Om Damodaraya Namaha, Om Vasudevaya Namaha.
So while reading, decorating, we say that Om Keshvaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Vishnave Namaha, Om Madhusudanaya Namaha, Om Trivikramaya Namaha, Om Vamanaya Namaha, Om Sridharaya Namaha, Om Rishikeshaya Namaha, Om Padmanabhaya Namaha, Om Damodaraya Namaha, Om Vasudevaya Namaha. Lastly, not the Shika part. No, that's the brain part. So that's where. So we have to put every day. We are these devotees. We put tilak. Performing devotional activities. It's required actually. It's very much required. One of the practice. So that's the thing. So here, lastly, Prabhupada concludes with Kirtaniya Sadahari Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Kirtanadi Eva Sangha Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrajayat. That's where see, this is all spiritual life. This is all practicing devotional life. So remember, it starts with after taking bath, put tilak and remembering 12 names of Vishnu. So I'd say it's there actually. Which part we need to recite on which name, right? From tilak here, from Keshava Namaha, like that. All it's there, right? You are reading that one only, Mata, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
But I'm reading from the Hindi book actually. So I have a Hindi book.
Okay, so that's the thing. So go through it. I mean, try to not like it's okay. Some Prabhu's little tilak, put little tilak and recite name on which various parts of the body, right? So that's the thing. So there is a description. So there's so these are all Americans practicing during the Srila Prabhupada's time. He trained and taught how to put tilak, how to recite mantras while putting tilak. Nice. So remember that and try to put this tilaka in our body. That's very important. It's given by Krishna. So we remember every day by putting tilak. Yeah. Mangalacharana prayers. Let us begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminite Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter entitled as Universal Form of Supreme Lord. So we are at 44 verse. Let me change. Yeah, go ahead, Matas. Yeah, 44 verse.
Yes, Prabhuji. 1 minute. Yeah. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. You're the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. Purport. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As a father tolerates, or the husband or a master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother. Yeah, Samyukta Mother, please go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead. O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Purport. Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend, and as a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence. Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus, his mind is disturbed out of fear, although he had no reason to fear. Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayana form because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planet, he has his transcendental form with 4 hands as Narayana. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestations of different names. Thus, Arjuna desired to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayana is 4-handed, but the 4 hands hold different arrangements of symbol: the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hand, these 4 things are held in. The Narayanas are variously named. All of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his 4-handed feature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sandhya Mother, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. O universal form, O 1,000-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your 4-armed form with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Purport. In the Brahma Samhita 5.39, it is stated, Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tistan. The Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms, and the main forms are those like Rama, Narasimha, Narayana, etc. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Yes. Lalit Prabhu, please read.
Thank you. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency. This supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna wanted to see the universal form of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Krishna, out of his mercy upon his devotee Arjuna, showed his universal form, full of effulgence and opulence. This form was glaring like the sun, and its many faces were rapidly changing. Krishna showed this form just to satisfy the desire of his friend Arjuna. This form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency, which is inconceivable by human speculation. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjuna. But because the form was shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in the other planets in the outer space could also see it. They had not seen it before. But because of Arjuna, they were also able to see it. In other words, all the disciplic devotees of the Lord could see the universal form, which was shown to Arjuna by the mercy of Krishna. Someone has commented that this form was shown to Duryodhana also when Krishna went to Duryodhana to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer. But at that time, Krishna manifested some of his universal forms. But those forms are different from this one shown to Arjuna. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Lavish Babu.
Translation. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mind. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I see in this form in the material world. Purport. The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. What is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhakta Smrita Deva. Those who are atheistic, that is, who do not believe in Vishnu or who recognize the impersonal part of Krishna as supreme, cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal for Arjuna. Now, one can have some idea of Vishwarupa after this incident, but one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna or Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. In this verse, there are some significant words, just like Ved, Yajna, Dhyanteha, which refers to studying Vedic literature and the subject matter of sacrificial regulations. 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sam, and Atharva, and the 18 Puranas, the Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutras. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are Sutras, Kalpasutras, Mimamsha Sutras for studying the method of sacrifice. Sacrifice. Dhana refers to charity which is offered to the suitable party, such as those who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, similarly, pious activities refer to the Agnihotras and the prescribed duties of the different castes, and the voluntary acceptance of some bodily pains is called tapasya. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. Those who are impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord. But from Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim an ordinary human to be an incarnation, but this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the primary study of the science of God, Still, it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of a pseudo-incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form, but that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of
false incarnations. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice statement. Bhagavad Gita is considered preliminary study of the science of God. Using nice those words, English words. Preliminary science of God. Yeah. Raju Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dhanat Pranam.
No.
Translation. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now, let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Purport. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not to be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectful worshipful feeling, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Lord. Let me read 11.50. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Purport. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayana, but when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed form, but since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in his two-handed form. The word Saumya Vapuhu is very significant. Saumya Vapuhu is very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna. Excuse me, is a devotee and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated, Premanjanachyuta Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a person whose eyes are smeared with ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Sri Krishna. What is that beautiful form of Sri Krishna? It's a Saumya Vapuhu. Very nice word. Yeah. Again, Mata, yes, please continue. Another 5 verses to conclude this chapter.
Yeah, read the next one, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Samyukta Mata.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature." Purport. Here the words Manusham Rupam clearly indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Krishna as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form and again to show the four-handed Narayana form? So it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and who misguides the reader by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed Vishnu form. So how can be he an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear." In the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded revealing his universal form and informed Arjuna that this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifices, etc. Now here the word Sudurdarsham is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to various activities like penances, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see. That has already been explained. Still beyond that universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see. Even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva, we desire to see him, and we have evidence in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord, although he was not at that time visible to them. They waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him, but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna in his two-armed form is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. In Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is also confirmed, Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashritam. He is not visible to the foolish persons who deride him. Krishna's body, as confirmed by Brahma Samhita and confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, is completely spiritual and full of bliss and eternality. His body is never like a material body, but for some who make a study of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita or similar Vedic scriptures, Krishna is a problem. For one using a material process, Krishna is considered to be a great historical personality and very learned philosopher, but he is an ordinary man. And even though he was so powerful, he had to accept a material body. Ultimately, they think that the absolute truth is impersonal. Therefore, they think that from his impersonal feature, he assumed a personal feature attached to material nature. This is a materialistic calculation of the Supreme Lord. Another calculation is speculative. Those who are in search of knowledge also speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of the Supreme. Thus, some think that the universal form of Krishna, which was manifested to Arjuna, is more important than his personal form. According to them, the personal form of the Supreme is something imaginary. They believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendental process is described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 to hear about Krishna from authorities. That is the actual Vedic process. And those who are actually in the Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority, and by repeated hearing about him, Krishna becomes dear. As we have several times discussed, Krishna is covered by his Yogamaya potency. He is not to be seen or revealed to anyone and everyone. Only by one to whom he reveals himself can he be seen. This is confirmed in the Vedic literature. For one who is surrendered soul, the absolute truth can actually be understood. The transcendentalist, by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna, can have his spiritual eyes opened and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna, and the advanced demigods are always in hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see this universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyama Sundara. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sandhya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: the form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. Purport: Krishna first appeared before his parents Devaki and Vasudeva in a four-handed form, and then he transformed himself into a two-handed form. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists or who are devoid of devotional service. For scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by way of grammatical knowledge or mere academic qualifications, Krishna is not possible to understand, nor is he to be understood by persons who officially go to the temple to offer worship. They make their visit, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is. Krishna can understood only through the path of devotional service, as explained by Krishna himself in the next verse.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Purport. Last, actually, this is last, and then full before last one. It's two. Yeah, we'll read this one. Akinchan Prabhu, I see you joined. Please read this one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I understand as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Purport: Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided devotional service. He explicitly explains this in this verse so that unauthorized commentators who try to understand Bhagavad Gita by speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. No one can understand Krishna or how he came from the parents of in a four-handed form and at once changed himself into two-handed form. These things are very difficult to understand by study of Vedas or by philosophical speculation. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that no one can see him or enter into understanding of these matters. Those who, however, are very experienced students of Vedic literature can learn about him from the Vedic literature in so many ways. There are so many rules and regulations, and if one at all wants to understand Krishna, he must follow the regulative principles described in the authoritative literature. One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. For example, to undergo serious penances, one may observe fasting on Janmashtami, the day on which Krishna appeared, and on the 2 days of Ekadashi, the 11th day after the new moon and the 11th day after the full moon. As far as the charity is concerned, it is sorry.
Yeah, it is plain.
As far as charity is concerned, it is a plain that charity should should be given to the devotees of the Krishna who are engaged in devotional service to spread the Krishna's philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Krishna consciousness is a benediction to the human society. Lord Chaitanya was appreciated by Rupa Goswami as the most magnificent man of charity because love of Krishna, which is difficult to achieve, was distributed freely by him. So if one gives some amount of money to persons involved in distribution Krishna consciousness, that charity given to spread Krishna consciousness is the greatest charity in the world. And if one worships as prescribed in the temples in India, there are always some statue usually of Vishnu or Krishna. And that is a chance to progress by offering worship and respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the beginners in the devotional service, the Lord temple worship is essential, and this is confirmed in the Vedic literature. Shvet Shvetavattara Upanishad 6.23. Yasya deva para bhaktir yatha deva tata gaurav tata guru tasyati kathita hi harta prakshante mahatmana. One who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master, in whom he has similar unflinching faith, can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelations. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. For one who does not take personal training under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. The word tu is specifically used here to indicate that no other process can be used, can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna. The personal forms of Krishna, the 200 form and the 400 form, are described as Sudarshanam, very difficult to see. They are completely different from the temporary universal form shown to Arjuna. The 400 form of Narayana and 200 form of Krishna are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to Arjuna is temporary. The words Tvad Ananyena na Drishta Purvam, verse 47, state that before Arjuna no one had seen that universal form. Also, it suggests that amongst the devotees there is no necessity of showing it. That form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjuna, so that in the future, when one represents himself as the incarnation of the God, people can ask to see his universal form. The word na repeatedly in the previous verse indicates that one should not be very much proud of such credentials as academic education in Vedic scriptures. One must take to the devotional service of Krishna. Only then can one attempt to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita.
Prabhuji, actually, I think is Prabhu joined. Chandra Prabhu. So the purport, let us complete it and wrap.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, read it.
Oh, if you want to continue, then sorry.
Go ahead. Read it.
Krishna changes from the universal form to the 400 form of Narayana, and then to his own natural form of 2 hands. This indicates that the 400 forms and other forms mentioned in Vedic literature are all emanations of the original 200 Krishna. He is the origin of all emanations. Krishna is distinct even from these forms. We want to speak of the impersonal conception. As far as the 400 forms of Krishna are concerned, it is stated clearly that even the most identical 400 form of Krishna, which is known as Mahavishnu, who is lying in the cosmic ocean and from whose the breathing so many innumerable universes are passing out and entering, is also an expansion of the Supreme Lord. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Yaseika nisvaista kalam Atabalam Bya Janti Loma Vilaja Jagadandana Nataha Vishnur Mahan Saiga Vasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Mahavishnu, into whom all the innumerable universes enter and from whom they come forth again simply by his breathing process, is a plenary explanation of Krishna. Therefore, I worship Govinda, Krishna, the cause of all the causes. Therefore, one should conclusively worship the personal form of Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, who has eternal bliss and knowledge. He is the source of all forms of Vishnu. He is the source of all forms of incarnation, and he is the original supreme personality, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In Vedic literature, Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.1, the following statement appears: Sachit Ananda Rupaya Krishna कृष्णाय लिष्ट करिणे नमो वेदांत वेदाय गौरवे बुद्धि साक्षिने. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Krishna, who has a transcendental form of bliss, eternity, and knowledge. I offer my respect to him because understanding him means understanding the Vedas, and he is therefore the supreme spiritual master. Then it is said, Krishna vai Parama Daivatam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.3. Eko Vasi Sarva the Krishna Hidaya. That one Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and he is the worshipable. Eko pi san bahudaya yo vadati. Krishna is one, but he is manifested in unlimited forms and expanded incarnations. Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.31. Shall I continue, Prabhu, or you will read?
Continue. Yes, continue. Let us complete it. Otherwise, give it to other devotees.
The Brahma Samhita 5.1 says, Iswara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. The supreme personality of Godhead is Krishna, who has a body of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. He has no beginning, for he is the beginning of everything. He is the cause of all causes. Elsewhere it is said, Yatra Vatrinam Krishna Kyam Param Brahma Naratri. The supreme absolute truth is a person. His name is Krishna, and he sometimes descends on the earth. On this earth. Similarly, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we find a description of all kinds of incarnation of the supreme personality of Godhead, and in the list, the name of Krishna also appears. But then it is said that this Krishna is not an incarnation of God, but is the original supreme personality of Godhead himself. Ete Kamsa Kala Parama Krishna tu Bhagavan Swayam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Okay. Yeah. Lalitman Prabhu, 2 paragraphs in a complete AM, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Am I audible enough, Prabhu? No?
Yes.
Yeah. Similarly,
yes, Prabhu.
Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Matha Parataram Nanya. There is nothing superior to my form as the personality of Godhead Krishna. He also says elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Adirhi Devanam. I am the origin of all the demigods. And after understanding Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, Arjuna also confirms this in the following words: Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Param Bhavan. I now fully understand that you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, and that you are the refuge of everything. Therefore, the universal form which Krishna showed to Arjuna is not the original form of the God. The original is the Krishna form. The universal form, with its thousands and thousands of heads and hands, is manifest just to draw the attention of those who have no love for God. It is not God's original form. The universal form is not attractive for pure devotees who are in love with the Lord in different transcendental relationships. The Supreme Godhead exchanges transcendental love in his original form of Krishna. Therefore, to Arjuna, who was so intimately related with the Krishna in friendship, this form of universal manifestation was not pleasing. Rather, it was fearful. Arjuna, who was a constant companion of Krishna's, must have had transcendental eyes. He was not an ordinary man. Therefore, he was not captivated by the universal form. This form may seem wonderful to persons who are involved in elevating themselves by fruitive activities. But to persons who are engaged in devotional service, the 200 form of Krishna is most dear. Haribol.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you all for reading today. It took a little time. Actually, this is the 54 is the last, before last one, and 55 is the last one, 11th chapter. So a big purport has given Srila Prabhupada, see how he's explaining and quoting different verses from different Upanishads and Brahma Samhita, right? In ecstasy is written actually. This is one of the important verse, and he has given that. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. That's it. What is that? We call period. only by undivided devotional service. Standing before you and can thus be seen directly. That means with devotional service, we can see, we can experience Krishna. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So in ecstasy, says Srila Prabhupada quoted different verses. So pure devotee's consciousness. Yep. Yeah. Thank you very much again. So let us go through these verses. Today, let me read, do it first and correct me, Prabhu. Okay. I'll do this.
Prabhuji, can you be a bit louder?
నా వాయిస్ అంత తక్కువ వస్తుందా మాత ఇది? ఓకే.
తక్కువ.
ముందుకు రండి ప్రభుజీ.
చాలా స్లో వస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ.
I don't know. అంతే ఫుల్ గానే ఉన్నది స్పీకర్. హరే కృష్ణ హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే 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 రామ 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 హరే హరే. Is it clear now?
It's better.
It is audible, Prabhuji, but it is not like the best volume. So it's
Acha.
okay. Please continue.
Yeah. ఏమో మాత స్పీకర్ అయితే 100% ఉంది. That's it. I don't see any.
Seems some network issues, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes. Let me know. Yes. Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.52.37. Sri Rukmini Uvacha Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Shunvatam Te Nirvishya Karna Vivarair Haratongatapam Rupam Drisham Drishimatam Akhilartha Labham Vayachuta Vishati Chittamapatrapam Me.
Perfect, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Katva Mukunda Mahati Kulashila Rupa Vidya Vayo Dravinadha Mabhiratmatulyam Dhira Patim Kulavati Navranita Kanya Kale Nrusimhanaralo Kamano Bhiramam. Yeah, then Sri Gopya Uchuhu Akshanvatam Phalamidam Naparam Vidhama Sakhya Pashun Anuviveshayator Vayasyai Vaktram Vrajesha Sutayor Anavenu Justam Yairva Nipitam Anurakta Kataksha Moksham Chuta Pravala Barhastabakot Palabja Mala Nuprukta Paridhana Vichitra Veshav Madhye Virejaturalam Pashupala Gostyam Range Yata Natavarau Pachagaya Manau. Then 10.39.31 Sri Suka Uvacha Evam Bruvana Virahatura Brisham Vrajastriya Krishna Visakta Manasa Visrjalajjam Rurudhusma Suswaram Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So by Srila Bilavangal Thakur, Govinda Damodara Stotra. Gruhe Gruhe Gopavadhu Kadamba Sarve Militva Samavapya Yogam Punyani Namani Pathanti Nityam Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Okay na Prabhu? Okay na?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yes. మా మాత ఈజ్ కానీ ప్రభు ఈజ్ కానీ కొంచెం అంటే ఇప్పుడు కొంచెం ప్రాక్టీస్ కావాలి, కొంచెం లాస్ట్ చదవండి, ఇంకా మీ ఇష్టం. ఇట్స్ అప్ టు యూ. మా ప్రభుస్ మాత ఈజ్ హెల్ప్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. విల్ స్పెండ్ 9-10. ఇట్స్ ఓకే. ఓకే,
I'll do Prabhuji.
చే
Sri Rukmini Uvacha Shrutva Gunan Bhuvana Sundara Shinvitam Te Nirvishya Karna Vivarai Haratonga Tapam Rupam Drisham Drishimatam Akhilartha Labham Tvayachyuta Vishati Chittamapatrapam Me. Katva Mukunda Mahati Kulashila Rupa Vidya Vayodravinatham Abhiratmatulyam Dhira Patim Kulavati Navrinita Kanya Kale Narasimhanaralokamanobhiramam.
Mataji నిన్నట్లాగానే సేమ్ धीरापतिं कुलवती
ధీరాపతిం
కొంచెం తేడా వస్తుంది
కులవతి.
ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ మొత్తం చదవండి అప్పుడు చెప్తాను.
కాత్వా ముకుంద మహతి కులశీల రూప విద్యా వయోద్రవినధామభిరాత్మతుల్యం ధీరాపతిం కులవతి.
ధీరాపతిం కులవతి నవృణీత కన్యా అంటే ధీరాపతిం అక్కడ అలా కాదు. ధీరాపతిం కులవతి నవృణీత కన్యా.
ధీరాపతిం కులవతి నవృణీత కన్యా కాలే నరసింహ నరలోక మనోభిరామం.
yes ma'am.
శ్రీ గోప్య వచ్చు. అక్షన్వతాం ఫలమిదం న పరం విదామ సఖ్యా పశూనను వివేశయతోర్వయశ్యై వక్త్రం వ్రజేష శ్రుతయోర్ అనవేనుజూష్టం ఏర్వాణి పీతమనురక్త కటాక్ష మోక్షం. చూత ప్రవాల పర్హస్తబకోత్పలాబ్జ మాలానుపృక్త పరిధాన విచిత్ర వేషౌ మధ్యే విరేజుతురలాం పశుపాల గోస్త్యాం రంగే యథా నటవరౌ క్వచ గాయమానౌ.
yes ma'am.
శ్రీ శుక ఉవాచ ఏవం బ్రువాణా విరహాతురవృషం వ్రజస్త్రియా కృష్ణ విషక్త మానసా విసృజ్య లజ్జాం రురుదో స్మ సుస్వరం గోవింద దామోదర మాధవేతి. గృహే గృహే గోపవధూ కదంబా సర్వే మిలిత్వా సమవాప్య యోగం పుణ్యాని నామాని పఠంతి నిత్యం గోవింద దామోదర మాధవేతి.
Jai. Thank you. Thank you.
yes Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
You are feeling happiness, right, by doing this?
Yes, Prabhuji. I became far better. Actually, I couldn't అంటే నాకు చేయడానికి కూడా వచ్చేది కాదు శ్లోకాస్ అంటే, బట్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తుంటే బాగా అనిపిస్తుంది.
You know, with the mercy of His grace, Lalit Mohan Prabhu, very good. Yeah. Mataji, ఇంకెవరైనా చేస్తారా?
నేను చేస్తాను ప్రభుజీ. శ్రీ రుక్మిణి వాచ శ్రుత్వా గుణాన్ భువన సుందర శృణ్వతాం తే నిర్విశ్య కర్ణ వివరైర్హరతోంగతాపం రూపం దృశాం దృశిమత్తాం అఖిలార్థలాభం త్వయ్యచ్యుతా విశతి చిత్తమపత్రపం మే ఖాత్వా ముకుంద మహతి కులశీల రూపా విద్యా వయోద్రవినధామభిరాత్మతుల్యం ధీరాపతిం కులవతి నవృణీత కన్యా కాలే నృసింహ నరలోక మనోభిరామం. శ్రీ గోప్య ఊచు అక్షన్వతాం ఫలమిదం న పరం విధామా సఖ్యా పశూనను వివేశయతోర్వయస్యై వక్త్రం వ్రజేష సుతయోరనవేనుజుష్టం యైర్వా నిపీతమనురక్త కటాక్ష మోక్షం. చూత ప్రవాల బర్హస్తబకోత్పలాబ్జా మాలానుపృక్త పరిధాన విచిత్ర వేషౌ మధ్యే వీరే చతురలం పశుపాల ఘోస్త్యాం రంగే యథా నటవరౌ క్వచ గాయమానౌ. శ్రీ సుఖ ఉవాచ ఏవం బ్రువాణా విరహాతురాభృశం వ్రజస్త్రియః కృష్ణ విషక్త మానసా విసృజ్య లజ్జాం రురుధూ స్మ సుస్వరం గోవింద దామోదర మాధవేతి. गृहे गृहे गोपवधूकदम्भा सर्वे मिलित्वा समवाप्य योगं पुण्यानि नामानि पठन्ति नित्यं गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति. ప్రభుజీ కరెక్టే పాడుతున్నా ప్రభుజీ, కొంచెం డౌట్ వస్తుంది.
పుణ్య పుణ్య నామాని కొద్దిగా అంటే నేను అనుకుంటున్నా, బట్ ప్రభు చెప్పండి. పుణ్యాని నామ అక్కడ విసృజ్జలజ్జాం అట్లా పుణ్యాని నామాని పఠంతి నిత్యం. ఇట్స్ ఓకే, యు ఆర్ గుడ్ మాధవ్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
హరే కృష్ణ.
దీపా మాధవ్, యూ వాంట్ టు ట్రై ఆర్ విల్ గో టు ప్రభుస్? Is there Madhavi?
I give a chance to one Prabhuji and then I'll do it.
Akinjan, Chandravel Prabhu would like to do. Raju Prabhu would like to do.
Okay, Prabhu, I will do it.
Okay.
Sri Rukmini Uvacha. Srutva gunan bhavana sundara srunvatante nirvishya karna vyavarir hartungatapam రూపం దృశం దృశమతామఖిలాదలాభం త్వయచ్యుత విశతి చిత్తం అపత్రపం కత్వా ముకుందమతి కులశీల రూప విద్యా వయద్రవినదామభిరాత్మతుల్యం ధీరపతిం కులవతీన వ్రణీత కన్యా కాలే నరసింహ నరలోక మనోభిరామం. శ్రీ గోప్య ఉచు అక్షన్వతాం ఫలమిదం న పరం మిదామా సాక్య పశూనాన్వైసైతోర్వైసై వక్త్రం రజేష సుతయోరనవేన వ్యష్టం యైర్వా నిపితమనురక్త కటాక్ష మోక్షం. చూత ప్రబాల బరస బకోట పలాబ్జా మాలాను ప్రకృత పరిదామ విచిత్ర వేషౌ మధ్యే విరజతోర్ అలం పశుపాల గోష్ఠ్యాం రంగే అతనతవరౌ క్వచ గాయమానౌ. శ్రీ సుఖ ఉవాచ ఏవం బ్రువాన విరహాతురా భృశం రజస్త్రియ కృష్ణ విషక్త మానస విసృజ్య లజ్జాం మృదుస్మ సుస్వరం గోవింద దామోదర మాధవేతి. గృహే గృహే గోపవధూ కాదంబా సర్వే మిలిత్వా సమవాప్య యోగం పుణ్యాని నామాని పఠంతి నిత్యం గోవింద దామోదర మాధవేతి.
చంద్రమౌళి ప్రభు
చెప్పను ప్రభు.
మాలాను ప్రకృత ప్రభు, అది మాలాను ప్రకృతి అని చదువుతున్నారు. మాలాను ప్రకృత పరిధాన విచిత్ర వేషం. ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే ప్రభుజీ, యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు నాకు ట్యూన్ వస్తుందా రావట్లేదు అని చూడొద్దు, బట్ బీ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్, దట్స్ ఇట్. ఓకే, ఈ మీకు ఈ రోజు మీరు పర్ఫెక్షన్ చేయకపోవచ్చు, బట్ టైం ఈస్ వెరీ పవర్ఫుల్ యాక్చువల్లీ. ఒక్కొక్కరికి ఒక టైం పడుతుంది ప్రభుజీ, మీకు కొంచెం ఎక్కువ టైం పడుతుంది. బికాస్
సారీ ప్రభు, సారీ టు ఇంటరప్ట్, బట్
వే
బెటర్ ప్రభు, వే బెటర్ వెన్ యూ నో, మీకే తెలుస్తుంటది కదా. way better. Sanskrit
just because of lack of practice only I am feeling like this, otherwise
I feel way better. ఎందుకంటే మీకు ఫస్ట్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి అది ఇప్పుడు శ్లోకాలు చదవగలుగుతారు ఈజీగా.
భయం పోతుంది ప్రభుజీ కొంచెం.
బీ కాన్ఫిడెంట్ ప్రభుజీ, ఇట్స్ ఓకే, ఎవరు పర్ఫెక్ట్ కదా, వి ఆర్ నాట్ పర్ఫెక్ట్ ఇన్ దిస్ మెటీరియల్ వరల్డ్. అదే కదా ప్రాబ్లం, రైట్? పర్ఫెక్ట్ ఎప్పుడు పర్ఫెక్ట్ అవుతారు? గో బ్యాక్ టు
ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తేనే పర్ఫెక్ట్ అవుతాం ప్రభుజీ.
అంతే, డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్ అంతే. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఆ ప్రభు చెప్పినట్టు మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చూడండి. మన గ్రూప్ లోనే ఈ పీడిఎఫ్ చేయండి. మన ఒకటి చెప్తున్నా, ఒకటి మన గ్రూప్ లో పీడిఎఫ్ పెట్టినది సేవ్ చేసుకోండి. జస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు అప్పుడప్పుడు చూడండి, ప్రభుది వాయిస్ ప్రింట్ కూడా ఉంది. చేయండి.
श्रीरुक्मिणी उवाच श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवनसुन्दर शृण्वतां ते निर्विश्य कर्णविवरैर्हरतोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमतामखिलार्थलाभं त्वय्यच्युता विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे कात्वा मुकुन्द महती कुलशीलरूपा विद्यावयोद्रविलधामभिरात्मतुल्यं धीरापतिं कुलवतीं वृणीतकन्या काले नृसिंहनरलोकमनोभिरामम्। श्रीगोप्या ऊचु अक्षन्वतां फलमिदं न परं विधामा सख्या पशूननु विवेशयतोर्वयस्यै वक्त्रं व्रजेश सुतयोरनवेनुजुष्टं यैर्वा निपीतमनुरक्तकटाक्षमोक्षम् चूतप्रवालपरहस्तबकोत्पलाब्जा मालानुपृक्तपरिधानविचित्रवेशौ मध्ये विरेजतुरलं पशुपालगोष्ठ्यां रङ्गे यथा नटवरौ उपचकायमानौ। श्रीशुक उवाच एवं ब्रुवाणा विरहातुराभृशम् व्रजस्त्रिय कृष्णविषक्तमानसा विसृज्य लज्जां रुरुदु स्वसुस्वरं गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। गृहे गृहे गोपवधू कदम्बा सर्वे मिलित्वा समवाप्य योगं पुण्यानि नामानि पठन्ति नित्यं गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। కొంచెం అటు ఇటు మారినట్టు అనిపించింది నాకు.
No, Mataji. No, it's good, Mataji. Perfect.
Yes. Thank you. Raju Prabhu ఉన్నారా? Raju Prabhu, Akinchan Prabhu, మీ ఇద్దరు ఏసీ అయిపోతుంది ప్రభు. Would you like to try?
Yeah, నేను చేస్తాను ప్రభు. I'll try.
Sure. చేయండి.
హరే కృష్ణ.
Yeah, చేయండి.
శ్రీ రుక్మిణి ఉవాచ श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवन् सुन्दर शृण्वतां ते निर्विश्य कर्णविवरैर्हर्तोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमताम् अखिलार्थलाभं त्वय्यच्युत विशतै चित्तं त्वय्यच्युत विशतै चित्तं मे
చేయండి మళ్ళీ చేయండి. ఇట్స్ ఓకే ప్రభు. చేయండి. Do it again.
श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवन सुन्दर शृण्वतां ते निर्विश्य कर्णविवरैर्हर्तोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमताम् अखिलार्थलाभं त्वय्यच्युत विशतै चित्तमपत्रपं मे तमपत्रपं।
ప్రభు ఒకసారి రిపీట్ చేయండి ప్రభుజీ.
Yeah.
లాస్ట్ లైన్ రిపీట్ చేయండి ప్రభు. त्वय्यच्युत विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे. विशतै కాదు ప్రభు, విశతి. है त्वय्यच्युत विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे. చెప్పండి.
त्वय्यच्युत विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे. त्वय्यच्युत विशति चित्तमपत्रपं मे.
Akinchan Prabhu, one click only Prabhu. How word is looking like. Just to focus on the word వచ్చేస్తుంది అంతే. త్వయ్యచ్యుత విశతి చిత్తం అపత్రపమే అపత్రపం. ఒక్కొక్క వర్డ్ లెటర్ ఎట్లా ఉంది ఫోకస్ అంతే. మళ్ళీ
श्रुत्वा गुणान् भुवन सुन्दर शृण्वतां ते निर्विश्य कर्णविवरैर्हर्तोऽङ्गतापम् रूपं दृशां दृशिमताम् अखिलार्थलाभं त्वय्यच्युत विशतै चित्तमपत्रपं मे.
ఆ లైన్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి ప్రభు. Prayachyuta Vishati Chittam Apatrapam Me. Yeah, it's okay. You can do this.
Okay. Katva Mukunda Mahati Kulashila Rupa Vidya Vayodra Vinadam Abhirat Patulyam Dhirapatim Kulavati Navrinita Kanya Kale Naralokamano Biramam.
Yeah.
Shri Gopa Uchu Akshan Vatam Phalam Idam Na Param Vidhama Sakya Pasum Anuviveshayator Veshai Vatram Brajesha Sutayor Anuvenu Justam Irvani Pitam Anurakta Kataksha Moksham.
Second line ఒకసారి చేయండి, ఫస్ట్ 2 lines share ఒకసారి.
Akshan Vatam Phalam Idam Na Param Vidhama Sakya Pasun Anuviveshayator Veshai
వయస్యై అనువివేశయతోర్ వయస్యై. వయస్యై అంటే ఫ్రెండ్స్ ప్రభుజీ.
Akshan Vatam Phalam Idam Na Param Vidhama Sakya Pasun Anuviveshayator Vasyai Vatram Rajesha Sutayor Anuvenu Justam Yervani Pitam Anurakta Kataksha Moksham. Chota Pravabhara Statapakotpalabja Malanuprikta Paridhana Vichitra Vesho Madhye Virejatur Alam Pashpala Ghoshcham Range Yatanatavarau Kvachagayamano.
First line of just tongue twister. Sabakotpalabja. Okay.
Evam Bruvana Virahaturabhrisham Vrajestriya Krishna Vishakta Manasa Vrishijjalajjam Rudosma Suswaram Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Grihe Grihe Gopavado Kadamba Sarve Militva Sarve Militva Samavapya Yogam Punyani Namani Patanti Nityam Govinda Damodara Madhaveti.
Hari bol. Nice, Prabhu.
Prabhuji and Matajis, did you understand one thing in all this, tunes? See, according to the tune, we divide the words. That is a trick. It's not we read the words as it is, but we should remember the tunes. Accordingly, we will break the words here and there. That is the main trick, in learning these verses or learning these tunes.
Correct.
Adi manaki actually, whenever we see a new verse, we should actually understand where to break it and where to add it. That's what it is all about. So for that, we should know actually exactly what words, how they pronounce, and how to break it properly. Then we can fit it in the tune. Okay. So we generally have we are trained from our childhood that militva means militva, but militva, to read like that, but it is not like that actually. Fit in the tune first, then left and right is okay. The Sanskrit, it's a songs actually. These are all songs. So the trick is to divide the words or to add the words according to the tune. So tune should be remembered first. Then the words left and right will be done. Jugglery will be done. That is the main key theme in learning these slokas. Okay, Prabhu, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Just want to add, we have read, purports of Srila Prabhupada. So these are all from 10th chapter, right? 10th chapter is Lotus Face of Krishna.
మీరు వినబడతలేదు.
అయ్యా అయ్యో ఎందుకో ఐ థింక్
ఇప్పుడు పర్వాలేదు ప్రభుజీ, వినిపిస్తుంది ఇంత ముందు కానీ ఇప్పుడు పర్వాలేదు.
ఓకే ఒకటే జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు యాడ్ అండ్ వి విల్ కంక్లూడ్ ఇట్. సో there are all slokas from 10th chapter, right? See photo చూడండి మన పిక్ 10th chapter, the summum bonum 1 2 3 4 5 verses from 10th chapter. Okay, so it talks about lotus face of Krishna, how he is beautiful. So that word Prabhupada used in the purport, of course in the Sanskrit, right? What is that word? Anybody remember? Saumya vapuhu. Saumya vapuhu, beautiful form of Lord's beautiful face, beautiful form. So 10th chapter is glorious face of Supreme Lord. So we are reading means, so we are, see, these are all mantras actually. Prabhu said these are the songs to glorify beautiful face of Supreme Lord. So with that consciousness, without meditation, enhance the recitation. You can enhance actually. So wonderful actually. These are the all verses from 10th chapter only. Did you notice, Mataris, Prabhus? All these 5 verses from 10th chapter only. It's the 10th canto only. Right? So, yeah. Saumya Vapu. Just I am remembering that word. So, I want to share. Thank you. Yes. Again, thank you so much again for joining this call. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. See you all on